As the afternoon sun reaches its peak, day 2 of Survival Saturday is underway at AVP Chicago. I'm Victoria Dennis alongside Meg Bergdorf, and it's Betsi, Flint, Julius Scoles, the number 4 seed, taking on the number 11 seed, Brook Bauer and Megan J. Rice. Meg, what can we expect to see here? And just a bit wide there, starting us off. We've seen Bauer and Rice make big waves here this weekend. They truly have battled. They've been in the contenders bracket for the last 2 matches. So this is their 3rd match in the contenders bracket. Bauer there with the dig and going high hands. Off the top of the tape. Scramble play, it'll fall for Scoles there at the net. Yeah, Meg, got such a great point. Having a whole other game off under your belt, I mean, your legs are that much better, but it takes massive grit here to battle through the contenders bracket. And we have seen Flint and Scoles do it. They did it last year, and then they won the MBO. Into the tape and point in favor of Bauer and Rice. It is brutal, these games through the contenders bracket, but these teams know what it takes. They have the grit. As we mentioned before, Flint and Scoles last year lost to the 32 seed at the MBO the first round and then came back to win the whole tournament. It was wild. And Scoles hammering that one away. Scoles with a serve. Rice. Up and over that block, it'll go. There's Brook Bauer here on our screen. Brook out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Serving Scoles to her sideline, who looks for high hands. He's not going to get it, and that ball is out of bounds. Scoles going high line again and catching the top of those hands. Yeah, what an option play. Rice standing at 6 feet tall out of Hermosa Beach, California. Her partner, Bauer, also stands at 6 feet, but one is a full-time blocker. That is Rice. Bauer, the full-time defender.
All right, my call here. Top of it.
Out of system, going with the flow into that cut shot is Brook Bauer on that scramble play.
Vic, I love that you just said she went with the flow because that's exactly why she's able to hit this shot so effectively. She's not trying to bring it back into the line. The blocker and the defender are both there. Not the best set, but the best put away.
Serve a bit long. Point will go to Flint and Scoles, making it within a 1-point ball game.
Yeah, I feel every game's going to be just a 2-point difference here in this matchup.
Taking a look and a rip. Will that ball tag? It will not. An 8-6 switch in the favor of Bauer and Rice.
And that's a big switch. 2 points is a big gap between these girls and these ladies playing out here.
Bringing Megan Rice to the service line. Option play into that corner is Julia Scoles, making that one fall pretty quickly there with her 6-foot reach.
And we were talking on earlier's broadcast about, you know, stringing 2 points, earning 2 points back to back together. That's the difference because we assume both of these teams are going to side out pretty efficiently.
Pokey jumbo to the corner. Nothing you can do about that one, Scoles.
You can see the frustration on her face for that one. It is because it's an easy shot, theoretically. It's high, it's lobby, you have so much time. But you are so dug in and committed, and that's why that face of frustration comes out.
Not to mention, if you haven't tried it, it's pretty difficult to move backwards in sand. Just a bit wide there. Now within 1. Scramble play, good lifted set, but trying to find that sideline, not gonna go. Betsi Flint here. Her rookie season, 2015. Is that ball in? It is.
Wow. That is a huge swing by Megan Rice. I love that crossbody finish. Hand over ball, you'll see it here. She goes, gets the top and puts it into her left pocket. Nice vision all the way in from her.
Rice going a bit long. I would even argue, it's harder to serve receive on a women's net than it is a men's net. And I will stand by that because on a women's net, it's lower. This ball is coming flat at your face. And even when the boys try to come and pass on the women's net, they have some difficulty.
I totally agree. And I think it's been proven in all of my men's practices when they help out. They're surprised how fast it drops and how low that ball does come over the net.
Into that corner is Megan Rice, bringing her partner Brook Bauer to the service line. Pick up by Bauer. Off the top of the tape. Flint is there. Scoles with a slide approach. And a scramble play for Scoles and Flint.
What an absolute beauty of a put away from Julia Scoles.
Scoles out of Morrisville, North Carolina. Played for the Tar Heels.
What a dig by Betsi Flint. Absolutely nobody home. And that was made to look easy, but that is not an easy play for Julia Scoles to make.
No, it sure is not. And these teams, they want to get into the AVP League. This is their last chance to try and qualify for it here. It's the third Heritage stop, the first one being Huntington, second Manhattan Beach, third Chicago. So these teams are trying to add up all those points as a duo to try and qualify into the AVP League draft. That should be happening within the next 4 or so.
Yeah, and it's looking like Betsi and Julia have almost confidently secured their spot. They're in the top 3-4 in their overall points as it stands of today, at the start of today. And Bauer and Rice are making a push at it. They need to secure a third place finish and have a little luck on the point side to have an opportunity to be one of those top 8 teams.
Right. Flint and Scoles secured a spot in the league as they are guaranteed to be at least tied for first in points among teams outside of the automatic berths or wild cards. So Flint and Scoles have punched their ticket into the league and an ace to go with it. Flint is there. Takes a look. Will it drop? Oh no. What a rally though from Betsi Flint back there, but an unforced error will go to Bauer and Rice.
What some incredible defensive plays by Betsi. I like that she's trying to work that sideline just a little bit too long there. Kind of turned into it a little too much, which helps to aid that error in happening.
Scoles following that ball all the way out of bounds.
And I like in this partnership, she's trying to push the sidelines. And that's exactly what you need at this level of the competition, at this level of play.
Pick up by Flint. Flint in transition into that seam will go Betsi Flint.
I mean, right now, Betsy's playing out of her mind. It's insane. She's all over the place on defense, making extremely smart decisions on shot execution.
Flint's most recent wins on the tour, well, last year with Scoles in 2023, the year before that, New Orleans with Kelly Chang. Quite a number of wins under her belt for the AVP tour.
And also what's so beautiful to see, and people are talking in the crowd zone about, oh, the league, is it going to, work with the partnerships, the same partnerships? I mean, Julia and Betsi have been dominating on the FIV, AVP, all across the world. And they've been playing together for something over 15 events I can see here with really good finishes against the world's best in beach volleyball.
Oh, cheeky with it is Megan Rice. A back bump set kill. Creativity 10 out of 10. Should be worth 2 points. Miss serve and that point to Bauer and Rice. Looking at the comments in the chat, haters gonna hate said, hey, men are hitting jump serves over 70 miles an hour. Okay, yes, but they still have to go and clear the top of that very high tape. And I will even argue it's easier to pass a topspin serve than it is a float serve because you just have to establish an early angle and make an attack move on it. The float serves are known to drop. Meg, thoughts?
Yeah, and the Germans perfected for the London Olympics that 14-foot drop on that hybrid jump float serve. It can be lethal.
Bauer's there. And puts it away in transition.
You know, what I'm liking the most about the evolution of the women's game is in the United States, we're moving away from shooting and shots, and we are heavy on the bang and the hit and the swing. And that's awesome. That's what you see at the international level, and that's what these girls are bringing here because they're out traveling, playing different styles, bringing it back domestically. And it starts even from our juniors. And I think the offensive varieties that we've been working on for the last 3 years and even more intensely in the last 3 to 6 months is helping to have a location to come in and really swing very effectively and very hard.
Yeah, and 3 of the 4 athletes on the court right now, they're standing at 6 foot. Betsi Flint, the shorty out there, standing at 5'10". But it is awesome to see these athletes coming out and taking grips. And on the women's side, they are so technically sound, and we see this even at the youth level, right, Meg, when we're out there coaching boys and girls. The boys, even my 8th graders, they get away with being able to just jump and swing and fly into weird things and find ways to score. But girls, my 8th grade girls, they have to be more technically sound because they can't get away with jumping as high and hitting as hard. And we'll see that at the collegiate level and on the pro level. So that's why I see a lot of extended rallies on the women's side. They're a little bit more technically sound because they can't get away with jumping as high and hitting as hard. Right, May?
I couldn't agree more. It's an inverse of the power triangle.
Simple science, to say the least. As that serve will go in the favor of Flint and Scoles. Transition. Oh, and looking for that deep seam was Flint. It looks like the right swing.
Yeah, it looks like a nice swing coming in, just going a little bit deep. I haven't seen a lot of line shots yet in this opening set.
Running behind, cut, Bauer's there, scramble play. Flint gets up. Off the top of the tape, Bauer. Will it go? It's out of bounds. And Flint and Scoles hold their breath there, watching that ball go a bit deep.
Lots of intention on these off-tempo shots. Yes, they work, and actually we're starting to see them a lot more on the international side. The jumbo, the off-tempo, dropping it deep, especially when you're on those big power swings. It's no longer a shot, it's that big jumbo off-tempo.
We've also seen direct correlation with the growth of volleyball and at the youth level, specifically on the women's side, given that there is a lot more opportunity collegiately for girls than boys right now. And we can see that in the age difference. Majority of athletes on the women's side this tournament are in their 20s, and Scoles drives that ball into the seam. What a play. Ripping that ball down the middle. I'm gonna say 9 out of 10 times that's going to be an ace. Rice blocked, covered. Bauer. I'm saying there's no touch.
Ooh, net touch, I think, called.
Net touch, okay.
That's what they're looking for on the, I think, left hand of Julia Scoles. Too short on the replay to see it there, but I think that's what they were calling on that initial block touch. And you know, something like that we've been talking about in training a lot with my blockers. They're frustrated. They're not feeling like they're doing a good job blocking because they're not touching balls. But the exact opposite is actually true. If you're fronting your hitter, if you're loaded, if you're hiding, and that hitter is working around you, you are actually doing a great job if that ball is going to your partner. So if you're landing and you turn and look and your partner's getting a quality touch on it, you've actually done the best job you can do as a blocker. So sometimes, and talking about that shift of power triangle, on the women's side, blocking balls is less of the quality of being a good blocker than it is lining up and defending and setting that up right for your defender.
Yeah, very well put. And thanks, Meg, for that explanation. Hopefully some fans out there can pat themselves on the back when they go and play league later tonight and say, hey, you know what? I took my space as a blocker today.
Especially if the sets aren't traveling tight, then the girls at the younger age across the country, you know, looking at going to college are just learning those next level things that we're already seeing in play on the women's game.
As we return back out onto the court, AVP League only 2 weeks away. How will the drama unfold? The next 48 hours are detrimental to how that will play out. And tooling the block, high hands, Bauer. Great play there.
I know, like Julia School stepping into a little bit of dive, and you know what? She has that block, and you could see the frustration there because she allowed her hands to actually cross over and not maintain their straight upness, if that's such a word.
It'll work here just like that play. In transition for Rice and Bauer. Bauer going with that tomahawk dig. And then putting it away high down the line.
I mean, Megan Rice isn't getting as much of the opportunity to swing offensively. However, when she does and she has the open net, I do not want to be on the other side of that.
Bauer here on your screen. Played 3 seasons of beach volleyball as a Pepperdine Wave before she went down south and played for Florida State. Point Flint and Scoles.
Some chat in our Valley Live crowd zone. We have 2 coaches in the box. I believe it's Travis Meerwither and Nick Lucena with our teams.
Great play, and just like that, Bauer and Rice with a possible match point.
Oh, wow. That is a seriously big play by Betsi, Flint, and Julia Scoles.
Flint roaring, saying no one with authority to Scoles to put it away.
And see, here's the thing. Scoles makes that look so easy, but she actually kicks in perfectly to make that play happen.
Sending us into overtime. What a block. Brook, Bauer at the net.
Okay, this is heating up. This is absolutely insane play by both of these teams. What a monster block.
What a play. Bauer here. Flint. No one up. Is it long? That ball is long. First set going to Bauer and Rice, 22-20. We knew it was going to be back and forth action as the teams take their dugout. Nick Lucena there, as you mentioned, coaching Bauer and Rice as he coached Bauer at Florida State, still there. Meg, what did we see in set number 1?
I mean, absolute all-out battle, not a lot of unforced errors. However, even though Flint and Scoles have 20 points on the board, they're hitting 0-4-2 as a combined hitting percentage as a team. Bauer and Rice, 3-3-3, but again, Bauer at a 1-8-8, Megan Rice, 5-4-5. Let's look at Betsi Flint. She's hitting a -182, and Julia Scoles a 2-3-1. Obviously, a bit of work offensively to get those numbers to elevate. I think we're looking at closing that 2-point gap. But 2 aces from Flint and Scoles, 1 from Bauer. No service errors from Flint and Scoles, and I think that saved them because it was 5 service errors between Bauer and Rice. They gave them 5 points away to Flint and Scoles 0.
As the teams head back out onto the court, we all know they have one final opportunity to battle their way into the top 8. And they want to stay alive here on Saturday. And it's Bauer to start us off. Oh, and put away with authority. Julia Scoles bringing the heat.
Pop and pound on that ball.
What a play. Looking at the chat, Joanne and Leopard, yes, I did mean set point. We've been talking for a long time today, so thank you for clearing that up. But yes, that ball is going deep into the corner. Looking back at the chat, haters gonna hate. Didn't Rob joke about Travis replacing Nick as an assistant at FSU? he did, and that is a 100% joke. Nick is married to the head coach, Brook, and they have 3 kids together and run a fantastic program. They've been down there for many years now. High hands down the line, it'll drop.
Let's talk about the weather, guys, because it's super hot right now. 81 degrees, humidity at 45%, and winds are only at a low 5 miles per hour. So feeling very sticky on the sand right now.
Pull dig. Scoles. High line. The finesse down the line. Wide open.
And that's something we didn't see as much in set number 1, specifically from Julia Scoles. And you see the hand on ball finish there. She looks like she's going to swing angle, and it just pops off, rolls off the top of that middle finger down the line nicely.
Top spin. Handled by Rice. Gets up, takes a rip, and sides her team right out.
Megan Rice is talking business today. She is making statements all over the court, because when she does get the ball, it's not coming back.
No, her and Brook Bauer have made quite the run this season. Finished 2nd at Virginia Beach. Yes! An ace serve will go to Bauer and Rice. Firing away is Bauer.
Bauer and Rice in a really comfortable spot right now. It's not a must-win set for them, so alleviating a little pressure, winning set number 1. And also, they have an opportunity, if they can secure 3rd in this tournament, to join the league this fall.
Bringing us to our first side switch. A 1-point lead for Flint and Scoles.
It's a bit of a windshield wiper play there. She moves all the way over and keeps going. Really nicely executed. So precise, tagging the outside of that line.
If you didn't know, here in beach volleyball, we switch on 7s, giving equal opportunity to both sides of the court. An ace for Betsi. Flint using that mama strength back there at the end line.
She is one of the most lethal servers on the tour. Gonna have to check how many aces she has.
Yeah, Flint still holds the indoor record at LMU in career aces and digs. Megan Rice with the serve. Taking a look at this replay. Flint hand to ball into that corner.
I mean, that's teed up Vic by such a great set. She has so much space, because that is a huge block up there.
Scoles trying to rip that serve at the end line. It takes a lot of endurance and stamina as a blocker to topspin serve and run up to the net all game long. Very impressive. Out of bounds, point, Bauer and Rice.
Just coming in a bit flat, trying to save that. Just had a look at the overall leaderboard for the AVP, and it is our Betsi Flint standing at 29 aces on the top of that leaderboard.
On the pin, Scoles will find a way to score. Great lifted set there. Scoles being able to find the inside of that block. Transition, cut shot for Megan Rice, keeping us on our toes here. 7 apiece.
Betsi Flint is also third in our leaderboard for digs. And her partner, Julia Scoles, sitting at 5th overall with terminal blocks at 22 on the season. And also 244 kills, second only behind Kelly Chang.
Rice, topspin serve. Into the tape, looked like her arm maybe dropped a bit there on contact. Scoles now at the service line. Scoles and Flint have had top 3 finishes at both heritage events. A block touch has to go. Oh, just out of bounds is Megan Rice. Great block touch there.
Julia Scoles making that play look so easy with that controlled contact off that block touch. And Megan Rice picking up her first error here in the set, second in the match.
Scoles forcing an overpass. Will she get there? She will. Great serve from Scoles, driving that ball and taking care of that overpass.
That's a really hard ball for Megan Rice to find and time well with a wall in front of you. She did a nice try there, but Julia Scoles secures that net.
In the Heritage Series, they got a 3rd in Huntington and a 2nd in Manhattan. And I bet you they want a 1st here in Chicago. Pick up.
I just love that Betsi's cheering her on. You could see her platform moving and elevating in the back, and that's why that ball goes behind her.
On the pin, Bauer is there. Takes a look and goes into that coffin corner. Bauer seems to have that shot locked in.
Nice set there by Megan Rice, turning, taking that ball low. Something for Betsi sold her on that line shot because she broke there, and that left half of the court was nice and open.
Serve will go long. With 11 serving 9.
This is an important point for Bauer and Rice to get.
Bauer takes a wide approach and swings high hand, sending us into our technical timeout. So still back and forth action right now as we dive into set number 2. Meg, what are you seeing?
First of all, that was a really important point to establish because we head into the technical timeout with a 1-point difference instead of a 2-point spread. We want to keep it on either side to that 2-point spread or less. Overall, both teams have drastically improved their offensive stat. 600 for Betsi and Julia and 500 for Brook and Megan on the hitting team's percentages. All players hitting well over a 400 right now. Not as many blocks, 1 block touch on the board and 2 aces, 1 apiece. So very even, very stable coming into the rest of set number 2.
Yeah, it is quite even. I mean, as you said, across the board, both teams seem to be feeling very comfortable on their side. It doesn't look like a lot of momentum ebb and flow, like those mountain peaks and valley lows. They're not really happening here. Everybody seems pretty calm, cool, and collected. Yeah, they're fiery and competitive, but all 4 athletes looking very comfortable out there. As set number 2 gets back underway, that's Megan Rice. Tight set. Bauer's there. Over on 2, it won't go.
That was such a big opportunity for Bauer and Rice there. You were given a free ball that has to be converted, in my opinion.
Yeah, it looks like they might have tried to force that option play. You could hear Bauer there say, my bad. It was a little bit of a low dig there. Scoles. On two, they'll try again. It won't go.
This is the point in the game for me that's a really delicate time. Do you take a timeout or do you fight through this one? Because you're at a 3-point spread right now.
Bauer looks into the corner for Bauer. Good side out there. That's a big point that they needed to keep it within 2.
Absolutely. Nicely executed. And they didn't have to do anything difficult. And that's the thing. A lot of times when teams are feeling the pressure, they try to do things that are very uncomfortable and not in their wheelhouse. That was nice and simple, good, clear communication.
Scoles. Cut shot there for Scoles.
And she can hit that late call because Julia Scoles was going up that huge arm swing, jumping straight up with both arms. At the last second, she could change that direction.
Yeah, great vision there from Scoles. Option, Flint in transition. Into the tape, something we don't see from Flint too often. But it looked like she wasn't able to get her feet to that ball.
Yeah, something about that set being way too inside. And again, you know, that's a small factor of the wind. It is blowing ever so slightly from the lake, so into Betsi. So that set just hung and kind of had just a little bit of a leverage on the inside.
Flint running behind. What a play going with the flow there. Flint and Scoles. Flint passing that well on the left half of the court and then just going with the momentum of that ball, making it a bit easier for Scoles to set.
And that's a good play by Betsi, putting her on the left side to swing. It is a little bit more difficult side of the court right now with the wind, but not enough to not have that play come out.
That ball is served out. Side switch. Only a 2-point lead as the league will kick off here in just 2 weeks, starting at the UCLA tennis courts and then heading down to Miami. You can purchase your tickets now online. Yes, general admission is ticketed inside those arenas. High up and over to that sideline.
Really nice play by Betsi and Julia. They keep pushing that advantage, and if Bauer and Rice don't close that gap here, they may run away with set number 2.
Catching the underside of that ball was Bauer. Bit of an out-of-system play.
And that for me was a big point. Good timeout there because we went from a potential 2-point spread to a 4-point spread. That's a very significant difference.
Yeah, it truly is. Let's jump back and talk about the competition format. So each day will feature 4 matches with 2 cities going head-to-head in each match. So the duos will compete against a team from one city on Saturday. They will face a team from a different city on Sunday. So an example of a competition weekend, this is what it's gonna look like. On day 1, well, if you're at the location, for example, if you show up to the UCLA volleyball courts, you might get to see Austin, Dallas, LA, and San Diego all competing there Saturday and Sunday. How that format will go. Day 1, for example, Austin men will play Dallas men. Austin women will play Dallas women. And then you'll have LA versus San Diego, LA, San Diego. Day 2, they'll flip. So Austin plays San Diego and then LA plays Dallas. So you'll have 4 teams there, but one team will only play against 2 other teams.
I kind of like it, because it's kind of like 4 quarters of what we're used to with other sporting events. And then I'm sure you'll have a halftime to let the teams warm up in between. But I quite like the more digestible format of an experience.
That'll be quite the entertainment event, as in the league, all 3 sets are 2:15. Teams are granted 1 timeout per set. Bauer with the pass, out of system, into the middle, tight set. Scoles setting behind on the pin, looking for a touch. Are they going to get it? They will not. That ball is out of bounds.
Let's have a closer look here. The hand just moved at the very last second.
Serving down the line was Rice. Flint, dug up by Bauer, stays on her feet and in, and then finds the high line.
Nice set there by Megan Rice. And again, coming in with that high line is Brooke Bauer, running it from the left side this time.
Rice, the Hermosa Beach native, with the serve. And thumping it to the ground, Julia Scoles.
Bounce Town and Chi Town, man. Julia Scoles with her on two. They're beautiful.
Scoles here with the serve. Played beach volleyball at USC, had an indoor career stint for the Tar Heels. University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill.
That's a nice point there by Bauer and Rice. Again, these ladies are playing one more match in today than Betsi and Julia. So they are on their 3rd match. Betsi and Julia on their 2nd match of the day. So let's see if that fatigue plays a factor here as we close out set number 2.
Bauer trying to drive that serve, but catching the top of the tape. It is now set point for Flint and Scoles. And that ball will land in, keeping Bauer and Rice alive with a little bit of hope to come back in set number 2.
And that's why I feel Bauer and Rice deserve to be in the league. They keep chipping away. They keep making great plays. They had a little bit of a bump in the middle of this set. That's unfortunate.
Scoles, cut shot, Bauer's there. Is it out of bounds? Ball is out of bounds, and just like that, what can you expect but another 3rd set here on Stay Alive Saturday?
Surprise, surprise. We are going 3. I love this for these ladies because it's an epic battle. Again, Flint and Scoles won the last head-to-head. Bauer and Rice taking set 1 early by 2. Flint and Scoles winning the second one by 3. It's going to be a battle. It's a race to 15 here. And it goes by really fast. It's hot. You know, the Bauer and Rice are on match number 3. So being conservative here in this timeout, getting some water, getting some hydration, maybe a snack or 2 so that they have the energy to really bring that next level here in set number 3.
Love me a good little snack in a timeout, and especially when you are competing in a barn burner. Looking at the stats here for set number 2, Flint and Scoles just out hit Bauer and Rice. They batted .421 against Bauer and Rice, who hit .190 there. So quite the difference in hitting percentage for the 2 teams. So that was a significant part of the reasons Flint and Scoles were able to pull ahead. Bauer and Rice had 6 attack errors and 3 missed serves. So those 9 points of unforced errors definitely added up for them, but they were trying to play an aggressive game, Meg.
Yeah, and they were holding. I mean, those hitting percentages were well over 400 coming into around 13, 14 in the match. And if they can manage the middle of this set, now it's only to 15. So we're looking at in between like 6, 7, 8, 9 points. That's where they have to be very proficient, very dialed in, take care of first ball contact. I think still keep pulling those digs and passes off just a little bit. I know they like running the on two, which is fine, but I think they were starting to creep a little bit tight, and I think they got stuck on 2, 3 of those in the middle of that last set.
As we head into the latter part of this afternoon, and the shadows on your screen went from facing the city skyline to now the lakeside shore. Who will survive in Survival Saturday? A race to 15. Scoles. Tight set, joust. Oh, and Scoles and Flint will take it.
That's a lucky break for them because that's a soft joust, mistimed, I think, by Brook Bauer a little bit. Let's have a look here. Goes in last, but actually just keeps it on her side.
We will see back and forth action. We've seen it all day long. If you're just tuning in, thanks for joining us. I'm Victoria Dennis alongside Meg Bergdorf, and boy, you've got yourself a ball game here as Bauer tried to get that one across the tape, but that'll go in favor of Flint and Scoles. Passing middle is Bowers. And finding high hands to side out with it will go.
That's a really nice swing to come back with. Bauer is very comfortable swinging to her left side into the lake side there. So very comfortable. Set kind of traveled and moved a little bit differently, so she did a good job putting that hand on ball.
Great pass, running behind, and it is out of bounds.
Betsi got lucky in the last set. And I know I say luck because it's well trained, but she tagged that sideline 2 or 3 times proficiently. This one just going a little bit wide on her.
Megan Rice putting that pressure on Flint. Will she handle it? She'll go behind. Oh, and it's a block for Megan Rice.
I would love a slow-mo video of Betsi Flint's pass there, because if you watch that platform was so well held. Nice low and long look. You can still see she's holding it there and the ball's not even there. Doesn't get her hips around to be able to swing inside, and I think that set's just a little bit too tight for her. Picking up a monster block is Megan Rice.
Look at our production crew. Meg, ask and you shall receive a slow-mo replay.
Our camera crew are the best.
Flint again. Oh, diving into that angle. Bauer can't get there in time. Great side out from Flint.
Have a look at how far that ball crosses over the net. It even tags the middle of the net, and that makes it very difficult. The angle that it's traveling at, the blocker can't get, and is very hard for the defender to pick up on.
Bulls top spin. Out of system. Nobody. Scoles. Tight joust. Betsi's there. Scramble play. Running behind again is Flint. Into the coffin corner.
Oh.
And they'll find a point in an extended rally, talking about having patience in these extended rallies.
And you'll see Betsi has really figured out this off-tempo shot. She loves moving this backside, which I really like on her. And that off-tempo shot, Bauer getting a touch on it, just not enough.
Fantasy stats guru in the chat tuning in while grabbing late lunch in Chicago. Thanks for a great call. Thanks, Fantasy Stat Guru. I want to know, are you a local to Chicago? And if so, do you have a favorite lunch spot in Chi-Town? Or if you're a tourist, have you found a good spot for lunch?
All I want is a deep dish pizza.
People feel very passionate about their deep dish.
Oh yeah, there's, I think, 2 iconic places.
Scoles serves into the top of the tape there. Point in favor of Bauer and Rice. Okay, one last thing about deep dish pizza. I went to Chicago after playing JO's indoor. I probably was about 15 years old with my family, and we wrote our name on a wall inside of this iconic pizza place, as you do, and I went there like 5 years ago and it was still there. Okay, rally continuing underway. Goals!
Oh.
Firing away.
What a beautiful swing by Julia Scoles, and you can hear their conversation right there after, because they want to make sure nothing is left unspoken to make sure that every point is well executed.
Highline Volleyball chiming in saying, I want to know that too. Okay, locals, if you're tuning in, what lunch spot are you going to? Pull dig, Scoles. High hands. Scoles firing away, solidifying a 2-point lead.
And again, we talked about points 6, 7, 8, 9 right in here. This is where the meat of the match is at.
Great touch there as these athletes switch sides. Fantasy Stats Guru says, drivable from Michigan. Deep dish is always amazing, but we love velvet taco. Okay, into the middle. Rice will find it, that point.
Again, finally seeing some action coming out of the middle. I like that she keeps it on that lake side.
Rice with the serve. Flint. Quick hand to ball for Flint will side her team right out.
And I love this tempo set that she's running here. You could see the big dynamic step close. Fast tempo. She doesn't even need to have a full big arm swing.
Scoles into the top of the tape. Every point counts, especially in a 15-set battle. Not a lot of room for unforced errors, but they have had quite the side-out percentage. Dug up. And a quick ball over is Megan Rice.
That is a great point that they just earned there. Have a look at Megan Rice. Gets off, faces the net, and is able to make that quick turnaround onto.
Flint. Cut shot, it'll go.
The winner of this match will move on in the contenders bracket and face the number 2 seed Chang and Hughes later today at 4 p.m. on court number 2.
Chang and Hughes losing to Melissa and Brandy Wilkerson, the reigning silver medalist. That game went to 3. Brandy and Mel really handled them in the 3rd set after losing the 2nd by quite a bit. Lifted set, Bauer going. We can see she just reaches really high, guiding that ball into that front pocket. Bauer. Flint is there. Off one foot is Flint.
Whoa,
And
nice on two.
Yep, an overpass will go.
Really nice turn there. Brook Bauer lifting that up perfectly. Those are the ones you want to go for on the on two.
Yep. A great lifted set there. Nine serving 8. Flint. Oh, using that mama strength, let me tell you. Hammering that ball.
Here you go, bud. Right back here.
I love watching Betsi.
Yeah, my call.
Bringing in the heat, leaves that hand a bit high. Bauer in the pocket, maybe hands not fully neutral and ready.
Right over line is the call. And they'll find a point. Bauer and Rice.
Big point for Bauer and Rice. Absolutely a wonderful execution. Nice chase there. Great read by Betsi, but it traveled with too much pace. Somebody in the background was not happy.
The fans will let you know loud and clear, that's for sure. But thanks for the fans in the crowd zone. Just chiming in here with us, talking one of my favorite topics, all things food. Love me some good cuisine.
Too.
Right, come to think of it, I believe I'll continue that story in a second. Oh, a hammer put away for Bauer and Rice, a 1-point lead.
I want to know how fast they're hitting these balls. I wish we had a speed gun out there right now because it's like hammer after hammer after hammer. All four of these ladies absolutely dominating.
Behind and put away. Point for point ball game. And within 1 point. Nobody up and firing away is Rice, giving them a 1-point lead.
I don't know if Julia Scoles should have broke that early because actually that set died straight in. She might have had a chance on that.
Float serve from Bauer. Puts the pressure on Flint, and just like they drew up, a monster block from Megan Rice.
I love this play from Megan Rice. Totally calculated in. Picks up on that platform pass from Betsi. You can see her already loading deep in the periphery and just fast hands accelerating to ball.
Running out the middle is Flint. Another block for Megan Rice. Back to back monster blocks will give them a possible match point.
What an amazing double back-to-back block by Megan Rice. Running out of the middle, trying to find 4 open corners is Betsi and Julia, but it is Megan Rice on net patrol, and she wants this league.
They are hungry for it and only 1 point away. Meg, I had that deep dish pizza at Gino's East Pizza when I was about 14, 15. And
oh my goodness.
Yes, when you go in there, sign the wall. It's a thing, you're allowed to. And people have signatures all over the place. So after indoor Junior Olympics, my family was like, why don't we check out Chicago and have a good time? So we went to Gino's East. I signed the wall when I was about 15, and I went back 10 years later, and the signature was still there alongside my brother Sean. We have a bit of a reach on people. I'm 6'3", Sean, 6'11". He wasn't 6'11 at the time.
I love it. But my deep dish spot is Luminatus.
Okay, okay. All right, now everybody knows our deep dish spots. Will Bauer and Rice continue on here in Survival Saturday? High line. Option. It'll fall. Just like that, Megan Rice and Brook Bauer survive to see another match here on Survival Saturday.
I did not expect that strong of a finish from Bauer and Rice. I thought it would have been a little bit closer. Look at this recovered play here. Megan Rice turning all the way around, chopping it. Betsi trying to make a move on it. And you can see the sheer joy in these ladies' eyes because they are moving on in the bracket. They face the number 2 seed, Chang and Hughes, up next.
It's the 7th place finish for Flint and Scoles. And as you mentioned, Bauer and Rice moving on to play again at 4 p.m. local time. That'll be on court number 2 for Make Bergdorf. I'm Victoria Dennis. Thanks for tuning in here for this barn burner of a match. More volleyball underway. We will have another game here up shortly. It's Bourne and Wilcox versus Crab and Sander. Will Crab be in the infamous tennis shoes that we've seen? Stay tuned here on court number 1.
You guys good? Actually, we have an estimate. Right? Try's like, I don't know. 10 minutes.
See, I'm starting a trend. Everyone's wearing Nikes now.
Are you looking for a sponsorship or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm always looking for sponsorships.
I'll see if my sister-in-law can do anything for you.